Good evening, Internet. My name is Morph. Welcome to Samson Khan versus Wemade Fox. Yes, you yawn, Father. You yawn your little heart out with your nonchalant nature. Ooh, whereas Mind, on the other hand, you see that he was sort of sucking on his lips a bit. So, obviously, FireBatHero usually does look quite nonchalant before his matches, 1 moment 0. But I think Mind did look a little bit worried, and he has reason for that, because Terran versus Terran, this is a mirror match, by the way. Mind has come in yellow at the top right position, whereas in purple, my favourite colour for the Terran Empire, is FireBatHero down in the bottom left. So top right, yellow Mind, bottom left, FireBatHero, purple. Now, as I was saying, Mind should be worried because his weakest matchup is versus Terran. It's still actually pretty good with 55%, even though it is his bottom one. The map is Shin Ryong, which we all love trying to pronounce. FireBatHero, on the other hand, as most of you will probably know, the chink in his armor is versus Protoss, which thankfully he isn't having to deal with today. His medium matchup, however, is versus Terran with 62%, which is really pretty good for a medium matchup. Although, of course, you know, a lot of players have some percentages in the 80s, but there aren't a lot of players who have percentages that high who've played more than 100 games. Like both of these players had, both started their career at the same times. Actually, both came into the Proleague scene around sort of mid '06. I think they both came in at mid '06. Now, the map, I'd say, isn't probably going to be that much of a factor, although it's one of the newer maps, and it does have some nice rampage, especially actually just where that oh my god, so Mind's actually going for something a little bit risky now. Actually, I was going to say, just where Mind is starting to build that structure there, it looks like a proxy barracks. It's a really hard position to defend because there's an expansion to one side of it, and there's ramps actually from 3 directions. I was casting another game on here the other day, and Zerg were pouring in at the Terran from all 3 directions from that. Thankfully, they were still able to soak that. So it looks like we got the gas going down for FireBatHero. I'm really interested to see what Mind's doing. I think a lot of people have done this actually. I saw it wasn't Effort, it was another Zerg player doing a similar thing actually, where they went for a proxy against FireBatHero. I think a lot of people, because of his sort of very proxy style play, and of course his gorgeous thick lush hair, obviously have spite for him and are trying to sort of use his fighting style against him. So we've got this really, obviously it's not like a bunker rush, like a proper sort of containing proxy, but still it's that's a map control right there, laying that down. And I think it is as well, just so I think we've got the enemy SCV in the base now. So Calm's gotten the scout off on FireBatHero. FireBatHero's SCV just about to approach into Mind's base. Now, did I just call Mind Calm? I do apologise. InteR.Calm is another Inter player, but it is Mind, not Calm. Anyway, so FireBatHero's SCV blocked by that SCV on the ramp there. Looks as if he hasn't discovered the barracks, and now it looks as if the barracks that was on that position has been taken off as the barracks were passing each other. Now we've got that other, if you look to the top left, we've got that other SCV coming through. Mind's floating barracks being shot at by Marine. Both players have their factories down. Now, one of the interesting things about Terran versus Terran games is a lot of people think it's merely just a siege tank race, which admittedly to an extent it is. But the thing that will win the match for one player rather than the other isn't having more siege tanks or being better with their siege tanks. It's the player who can make it not about siege tanks. It's the player who can use other tactics to not rely on those siege tanks. Even though they still use them, they don't rely on them. So it's the players who has good drops, who has good vulture micro, maybe even who throws down some battle cruisers. We just don't know. Maybe goes for some sly race. So we got some vultures having a little pop at each other, more barracks being shot at by each other. Both players starting off. It feels a bit messy to me, doesn't it, to you? So we've got a We got a second factory going down for FireBatHero. We got the SCV transfer for Mind coming down to get his natural expansion on the go. FireBatHero just a few seconds behind on his expansion. That barracks of Mind still in FireBatHero's base, just floating over it, trying to being shot at by that Marine. Third fact, no, I think that maybe it was either another barracks or another factory. I think it was probably a third factory for FireBatHero. So the expansion doing fine for Mind. Looks as if he only has 2 factories, and we do have spinning at the shop. Another SCV down in the corner there for FireBatHero, so we could see some even more buildings. Actually, Mind's just at the moment, I know it's an armory, so he's got 3 factories and an armory going down at the moment. It looks as if another supply depot about to be built. Now FireBatHero's barracks coming into Mind's base, so he's able to have a good look at what's going around. So both players just got a couple of Marines and some Vultures at the moment. No one doing anything really that decisive as such. Now Mind finally has his third factory going up, so it looks as if Mind was slightly ahead on the expansion but slightly behind on the third factory. I think that's fair enough. So now we have going for a soft wall in there on the part of FireBatHero, building a supply depot a little bit out there. Got that ramp protected by the Vultures of Mind. I don't know if he maybe really wants that many Vultures early on. They are very, very cheap, only costing the same as 1.5 Marines, so I'd rather have a Vulture than 1.5 Marines, I suppose. Anyway, so FireBatHero, so we've got the 4th factory going down for FireBatHero. Once both their economies really start to hum, we're going to see some goodness. So looks as if they both have pretty comparable, pretty equidistant amount of Vultures on either side. I think maybe then it did look as if there were slightly more purple ones on the part of FireBatHero. That flaming barracks still floating right over there, so Mind knows exactly how many Vultures are there. Still going up on that the factory there for FireBatHero. So only 1 machine shop at the moment though, so it looks as if Mind has 4 factories, and it looks as if FireBatHero is working on his 5th, I do believe. So there's the first siege tank going on. Idle SCV there for Mind, not good. So we got a good amount of, and Mind also there going for a wall in with an SCV back at his base. Looks as if I'd say at the moment. So we've got another machine shop coming down. So we've got 6 factories for FireBatHero. This is very interesting. It looks as if he's going to go for a real Vulture base pushed in the initial stages, probably just try and use the speed upgrade and get too close to any siege tanks that there may be. Also with that 1 supply depot there, it just makes it a little bit more difficult for that exact style to be used against him. So just 3 Vultures coming in, just probably dipping their toes in the water, just finding, and now the barracks of FireBatHero coming in, just so he can really get an idea of what's going on. We've got siege tanks trying to be a bit cheeky and hiding behind the barracks. Not going on now, so FireBatHero's Vultures retreating away from Mind's Vultures, although FireBatHero does appear to have superior numbers, but those 2 siege tanks can make a huge difference to the Vulture play. One little Marine there just trying to finish off that flaming barracks so that it can't be used as a scout anymore. Looks as if all the factories are up and running now for FireBatHero. Scan goes off just so all the mines can be seen. Very nice there on the part of Mind, I do believe. FireBatHero retreating and mining up again, and it looks as if it's Mind that is putting the pressure on FireBatHero. I think FireBatHero did want to push forward with those Vultures, it's just with those siege tanks there he just did not want to risk it. So mining the hell out of that area, doing a scan then on the part of Mind, and then quite rightly going off that ridge being holded by some siege tanks, and like exactly how I said, it's about trying to make it not about the siege tanks. So pushing in now with the Vultures, trying to get them inside the range of the siege tanks. Just so hard to know what's going on with Vultures versus Vultures just because of the way they work. Just so many little explosions going off everywhere as they're stationary. Looks as if Mind